What is happening, everybody? Today I'm here to tell you the truth about creatine, the world's most popular supplement. So let's get going. Let's go. Alright, so most of you have probably heard of creatine. You know, creatine, you see it everywhere, one of the most popular supplements out there. If you haven't heard of creatine yet, today's gonna be a great video for you to gain some knowledge on how to make some gains. So let's get into it, guys. Creatine, what is it? Alright, so before we get into it exactly, you can see some of the most popular people in the fitness industry, like Christian Guzman, say he's taking creatine. We have Nikki Blackketter as well, like also says many a times taking creatine. That, you know, people are open about this supplement because it works. And of course, this clip's for you here, boys. But yes, we have Steve Cook.
Creatine is something I take. I take creatine monohydrate.
Steve Cook, another very influential person in the fitness industry, claiming to take creatine. Another person is Rob Lipset.
Pre-workouts and creatines give you that little edge.
Rob Lipset, a famous dude from the UK, also saying he takes creatine. What is creatine? Another one is Simeon Panda.
Something like creatine, for example. Creatine worked well for me.
Creatine, Simeon Panda, look at him, looking massive. Another guy is Daniel Strange DDA. Ooh, he's looking swole too. But yes, creatine, they all take it. What is it? So like hands down, by far, creatine is definitely one of the most accessible supplements out there. Before, when it came out in the 1990s, you could only find creatine really in supplement stores like GNC or Popeyes. But now, like if you go to your local grocery store, I'm sure if you go down the health food aisle, you can definitely find like protein powders and creatine. So what is creatine? What is creatine? Alright, so let's get into this. You want the truth? You really want the truth about creatine? You can't handle the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Alright, before we really get down to business and give you guys the facts, I want you guys to know that today I'll be using medically researched documents, clinical studies to prove the points that I'm giving you today. Along with my own personal experience, I did graduate college and I did study exercise physiology, so I know what I'm talking about somewhat, right, in some regards. And I've also competed in powerlifting and bodybuilding respectively. So what's the big deal? What is creatine exactly? So creatine is actually a natural substance found in your body, but also when it is supplemented, it is used to create creatine phosphate. And this creatine phosphate is then used to create andesine triphosphate, ATP. Sounds complicated, but in reality, ATP is just energy. So pretty much the creatine is helped to use energy, and this energy is then used to create muscle contractions. So creatine, yes, it is found in supplements and it is found in your body, but however, you can take in creatine from natural food sources like red meats, fish, and eggs. So in red meat, per 100 grams, or that's about 3.5 ounces, there is about 350 milligrams of that, that one little 100-gram portion. So that being said, if you wanted to take in 5 grams, so 5 grams is typically the serving size for creatine, you would need to eat about 1.5 kilos or 4 pounds of that red meat to get that 5 grams of creatine. So that seems like a lot. Like, you obviously want to consume the creatine pre-workout and post-workout. I'll get into that more, how to take it and how much you'd be taking. But to eat that much meat right before you work out or even through the day is very difficult. That's why people supplement with creatine. Alright, so me, as I love doing research, I actually found a study where 2 researchers, Cribb and Al, conducted a study, and they found that young resistance trained males who consumed a supplement with 0.1 grams of creatine per their kilogram of body weight, when they supplemented with creatine along with a resistance training program, they found increases in 1 rep max, lean body mass, and cross-sectional fibers of contractile proteins in these individuals. So that's pretty cool that once you take creatine, you can improve these things that most people want, like 1 rep max, strength, and also lean body mass. So this study was actually conducted in 2007, and like I said before, all the studies will be found in the description box. But yes, they were actually giving these individuals more creatine than usual, because if you look at creatine label, like creatine, I have creatine right here. If you look at it, it says take 20 grams or take 5 grams. However, these researchers actually tailored the amount of creatine to the individual based on their body weight, which is very important. So unlike protein powders or BCAAs, creatine is actually a supplement that requires loading, and what this means is you take in an abnormal amount of the supplement for about a week to increase your levels of the creatine. Then after your levels are at a certain height, the peak height, you can then take a maintenance dose to maintain your levels of creatine. So that being said, in this study, they actually tailored the amount of creatine given to the individuals. So for the loading phase, they actually gave 0.3 grams of creatine per their kilogram of body weight, and that's for the loading phase. And for the maintenance phase, they gave 0.1 grams per kilogram of their body weight. So to give you guys an example, I'm about 95 kilos, which is about 209 pounds, give or take. And based on their research and based on their protocol of creatine distribution, you know, the loading, how much you should get for loading based on your body weight, and how much you should get for maintenance based on the body weight, I would actually need 29 grams or 30 grams of creatine for my loading and 10 grams for my maintenance. But if you look on the creatine label, it says take 20 grams for the loading and 5 grams after that. However, that's gonna be different from someone who is, you know, 95 kilos like myself, again, from somebody who's like 60 kilos, right? So you gotta really take in mind, your body weight will affect how much creatine you need. Yo, do you even creatine, bro? Do you even? Are you getting enough creatine, man? Do you even lift, bro? All right, so I'm just gonna pull up this chart I made really quickly based on the protocols on how much creatine you should be taking based on their research. So if you're 60 kilograms or if you're 130 pounds, you can be taking 18 grams for the loading and 6 grams for the maintenance. If you are 80 kilograms or 176 pounds, you should be taking 24 grams for the loading and 8 grams for the maintenance. And if you are 95 kilograms or 209 pounds, you should be taking 29 grams for the loading and 10 grams for the maintenance. So as you can see, these amounts, they differ quite a bit. So I really want you to take in mind how much creatine you're taking in and if you're taking in the right amounts. So that's just one study. You can make your own opinion, but I thought I'd provide you with some research and help as many people as I can with this video. So these two researchers actually conducted another 8-week study in which they gathered individuals like vegetarians, non-vegetarians, males and females, so you know, a pretty diverse population, and they put them on a 7-day loading protocol, the same amounts, the recommended amounts that I gave you guys before, followed by 49 days of maintenance. So after the 8 weeks of supplementing with creatine along with resistance training, they found up to 23% in muscle insulin-like growth factor and up to 3.5 pounds of increase in lean mass. That is very significant, but you have to remember this is compared to the placebo group. So do you guys know what placebo is? So pretty much placebo is something that is not real, but it is the psychological effect that something will occur. So there was actually one study done by Harvard where they had a group of individuals who had symptoms of a syndrome, and they gave them only placebo. These people actually, so 44% of these people actually found a relief in their symptoms even though they're given no medication at all. So you gotta figure, that means, based on what I said, 23% increase and 3.5 pounds gained. You gotta figure that's actually almost double because placebo accounts for up to 20%. So it's actually almost a 44% increase, 43% increase in the muscle insulin-like growth factor, and probably almost 5 pounds of lean mass could be obtained from creatine based on their research. So the author suggests that the increase in the IGF-1 was because of the increased metabolic demand. So when you supplement with creatine, your body can produce more energy and more force, therefore there's more overload. And because there's more overload, you can then, push harder, and that's why, and therefore there's more metabolic demand, because if you can produce more energy, you have more energy to expend. So when more energy is being expended, there's more demand, therefore the results could be greater, suggested by the authors. So for those who aren't really concerned with building muscle, like, who is that? Yo, do you even creatine, bro? Do you even? Are you getting enough creatine, man? Really? So anyways, for those who actually don't care about building muscle, there actually is research proving the aerobic effects of creatine and the positive effects it has on aerobic capacity and cardio, aerobics. So another researcher, Chobinski Monta, again, link in the description box. He actually observed a decrease in accumulation of lactic acid in the muscles and also an increase of lactic threshold when performing aerobic exercise when supplementing with creatine. So what that pretty much means, when you exercise and perform exercise for longer periods of times, so after about 45 seconds, there's not enough oxygen for your muscles to, keep going, and thus your muscles produce lactate, and this lactate can then help you produce more energy and help you produce more ATP. So pretty much what the research is saying is that when there's a decrease in lactic accumulation, there is more oxygen being available. And when you have lactic accumulation, you can really feel it in your muscles. Like when you guys do bench press for 12 or more reps, you feel the burn. When you feel that burn, or when you're running, you feel the burn in your muscles, your legs, that is lactic accumulation. Can you believe this? That battery died. Maybe if it took some creatine, it could perform for longer. I think it's gonna die again. But yes, pretty much when you take creatine aerobically, your body can, has more endurance, which is a good thing. So when the lactic accumulation decreases, there's not gonna be that burning sensation in your muscles that makes you want to stop to obtain more oxygen, and then you can thus continue for the exercise for longer periods of time. So all this that sounds amazing. Like creatine, you can build muscles, you get more endurance, better performance when you're exercising aerobically and anaerobically. So like, how do I take the supplement? So pretty much I recommend, this is just my recommendations based on the studies that I made and proved to you today. I recommend that you should take 0.3 grams of creatine per your body weight in kilograms for the loading phase for 7 days. Then after the loading phase, take 0.1 grams per kilogram of your body weight for the maintenance phase. This is what I've seen to have the best results, and it does make sense. Like if you're a bigger individual, you probably should take more creatine than someone who is smaller. So I'd rather have more creatine and stay hydrated and drink more water to protect my kidneys. I'll go over the risks soon, and then rather to not get enough and not really obtain the benefits from creatine and be wasting my money. So risk, as I said, risk. What kidneys? What do you mean? What do you mean kidneys? What are you talking about? So creatine has really been only available as a supplement for about 25 years now. That being said, there has not been one individual who has been taking creatine for these 25 years who can attest to any studies, and they have not been monitored. Therefore, there is no long-term research done on creatine. However, based on some other research, I did find that it says on some research, it does say that it can have a negative effect with your kidneys. So high dosages can have negative effects but have not been proven. Nothing has been proven. Also, it is not recommended that if you have kidney, liver, or heart problems to be taking creatine. Again, like any supplement, you should be contacting your doctor before taking it. I know it sounds silly, we all just take supplements before going to your doctors, but you really should. So risk, it's up to you. There's no research, there's nothing yet that proves it. There's no evidence showing that there is risk, so it's really up to you. I take it. I've never had anything wrong with me yet, and that's that. So that's the truth. That's the truth about creatine. You wanted the truth? Can you handle the truth? You handle the truth. I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Take someone who would think this would be informative too. And this is Strange Fitness. We're strange. Never felt so normal. Let's go. We're strange. Never felt so normal.